Welcome to Mobility Matters Real Talk. I'm your host, Christy Williams, and I am the Mobility Navigator for Southwest Oklahoma. I wanted to create short segments of my podcast that I'm calling Real Talk, because as with anyone in the service industry, we hear those stories and have those experiences that just stick with you. Many people can relate to that sense of helplessness. I guess you could call these podcast shorts basically a therapy session for myself and maybe others. Mobility management is fairly new and is making a lot of headway across the state thanks to the terrific teams we have within our organizations and the collaboration of so many within our communities and state. When I began my job in the mobility management program, many groups and organizations, including my transit agencies, were hesitant to speak with me. They didn't really fully understand what this program was and what benefits we could provide them. Now, these groups, organizations, and transit agencies reach out to me when they need help, want my advice, or just want me to speak to their groups. Huge strides have been made, and everywhere I go, as soon as I mention I help look for transportation solutions, they want to hear more and always share their troubles with transportation. We can't look at transportation as an elderly, low-income, or disabled problem. Transportation affects everyone. What we want to do instead is look at the human aspect of not having transportation, the issues that we see and the barriers that they face every single day. I grew up in rural Oklahoma, and it always amazes me when people say, well, I didn't realize transportation was an issue. But you know what? The sad thing is I was one of those people. It wasn't until my mother was diagnosed with brain cancer that I knew the struggles of rural transportation. You see, we had family support and decent funds to provide for my mother. We bought every loading device we could find, but still loading an immobile person into a vehicle is nearly impossible. My dad is a person who has always been a pillar of strength, but I watched him struggle as he tried to get my mother to those appointments. He begged for help, but because of our location, help just couldn't be found. Each outing was dreaded. While going through this with my mom, this job in the mobility management program came open. Unfortunately, she did die before I was really able to get started, and maybe I could have helped her. This has fueled my desire to find answers. Because you see, those who struggle with transportation are those silent patrons. They struggle, but are typically not the ones to complain. They accept their fate, they cancel their appointments, and they just deal with the consequences. The point of this personal story is to show that difficulty with transportation can happen to anyone. It doesn't matter about your income level, your race, your age, anything. Transportation issues are real. I interviewed a woman who was 95 years old. I asked her, what advice would you give someone regarding transportation? Prepare, she said. Tell these young people to prepare. You never know when the ability to get yourself around will end. It can happen over time, and it can happen in an instance. Prepare for the lack of independence. She said, I have money and I have insurance, but it doesn't do me any good when I can't find help. And the sad point is, eventually, this is something that's going to affect everyone. Everything centers around transportation. If we want to improve our health care, if we want to improve our job rates, if we want to improve our mental health in the state of Oklahoma, you've got to have transportation. You've got to have the transportation to get them where they need to go, because the lack of transportation creates that cycle of helplessness, depression, and frustration. Not to mention the cost on the state of Oklahoma because issues progress to an unmanageable state. In rural Oklahoma, transportation is not merely an inconvenience. It is a daily crisis that too often goes unseen and unheard. The vast geography of the state means that communities are spread far apart, with long distances between towns, medical facilities, grocery stores, and essential services. For individuals who cannot drive due to age, disability, income, or other health conditions, those miles might as well be some kind of impassable wall. The reality is stark. Without a personal vehicle, many rural residents are effectively stranded. Our rural transit agencies do operate with limited resources, small fleets, and minimal staff, all while trying to attempt to serve this enormous service area. Even with the best intentions and tireless efforts, these agencies are forced to make impossible choices, prioritizing certain routes, populations, or trip purposes while leaving others unserved. In some areas, public transportation is minimal. In others, it just doesn't even exist. The result is a patchwork system where too many people are falling through the gaps. Transit agencies across Oklahoma are doing everything possible to meet the needs. They pursue grants, they form partnerships, and carefully schedule rides to serve as many people as they can. But no amount of dedication can overcome the reality that funding does not match the scale of the problem. Those living in the most remote communities, often your older adults, people with disabilities, and individuals with chronic health conditions, are the ones that are left without options. As mobility navigators, we hear the desperation behind the statistics. We receive those calls from Oklahomans who need rides to dialysis, chemo, mental health appointments, or even just the basic necessities like food and medication. We search every resource, we make every call, only to discover there is simply nothing available. These are not abstract challenges. They are real people asking for help that we cannot give. The emotional toll of this work is heavy. When the call ends, we can step away knowing we have the ability to drive ourselves wherever we need to go. The people on the other end of that line often do not have that privilege. Ending the call does not end their struggles. It means they remain isolated, stuck, and uncertain. Many in the service industry and healthcare industry understand exactly what I'm talking about, that feeling of helplessness, working every day with a system that cannot meet the needs. The hardest part is that ending a call does not end our concern. We think about the people we cannot help long after that phone is hung up. Their stories linger, reminding us that transportation is not just about vehicles or routes. It's about access, dignity, and the quality of life. Until rural transportation is treated as an essential service worthy of sustained investment, these calls will continue, and so will the silent suffering of all of those who have nowhere to turn. I want to thank everyone for joining Mobility Matters Real Talk. And as I sign off, think about this. Transportation is more than just a ride. It's access to healthcare, independence, dignity, and connection. When someone can't get where they need to go, their world gets smaller. And while not everyone hears the calls that we receive, they are happening every day, quietly and urgently. So the next time you get in your car, remember those who can't. And ask yourself, what would my world look like without reliable transportation? Because the sad part is, we will all be in this position, or at least know someone that will be in this position where you have nowhere to turn and no help is out there, especially if you live in rural Oklahoma. Thank you.